Hello y'all and welcome to another army book review. This time is Kingdom of Equitaine. So just grab a brush and start painting some, and I will give my opinions about what I think about the army book. And feel free to comment if you disagree or agree or have any questions or whatever. I will try to answer as soon as I possibly can. So what I will do is I will basically walk through the army special rule and the army units and so on in a very overview matter, nothing too deep into them, and just give my short thoughts about the units and the army itself. So with that said, let's start. Of course, one of our special rule is the blessing, which is a very cool rule, I think. Either is 5 upward against strength 5 or higher, or 5 upwards against attack with armor piercing. You can actually choose, yeah, you must write it down in the army list. So yeah, you cannot really choose from what opponent you're facing off, which I think is kind of harsh, but I will take the token of the king every day of the week, because most things have strength 5 with armor piercing, so 5 up against everything strength 5. What you lose there is no bonus on the roll to go first or decide to go first, but from my point of view, I like actually going second, and my opponents always choose to go first, so I don't really lose much for that. But anyway, that's a cool little rule that might be harsh on you, but yeah. Then we also have, of course, the lance formation. We're fighting in extra rank, so we're fighting 3 ranks, only 3 models to make a rank, so we can have 9 knights charging and all of them can strike, which is good. We also have our special kind of way in the army that peasants cannot join knights and so on. We have beloved that makes our damsels or prophetess be able to stand in the middle of a unit, which is good. And you can borrow leadership from any knight unit if you are a peasant within 6 inches, so that leadership 5 or 4 you got doesn't really hurt us too much. Then we got questing O, which is you have a great weapon, immune to fear, and you can have shield, which make questing knights really good option now. Then of course the Grail, 5 upward medical attack and immune to psych, which is not always a good thing, but yeah, you cannot really flee with it, so yeah. But one thing I think is kind of harsh is you can only have 1 character with the Grail, which means that you cannot build the Grail Knight's Death Star too much anymore, because you can only have 1 character in that unit, you cannot have 3 or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of harsh on us, but we will survive without the Grail Knife Death Star. I think it's kind of too boring to play it because you put too much of a point sink into 1 unit, but that's generally what I think about most units and armies too. So for me, losing the Death Star option isn't really too much of an issue. We then got the Virtue, which is basically like medic item, and of course our own medic item. I will not go too deep, I will not go into them at all actually. We have some cool stuff, but I will not go into them. For our Lord choice, we have the Duke, which is, what do you think, a basically human fighting character. He is very cool, a kind of a must-have to be a general. For that leadership 9, yeah, we don't get leadership 10, which is, yeah, I think it's sad, but we cannot really do much about it. You can fix it with the banner, of course, but not leadership 10 hurts. Then we got the Damsel. Grail Damsel, it's not prophecies. Can use spell from Wilderness, Nature, Heaven, or White. Personal new favorite is White. I love that spell, especially the attribute, very cool. The special Hedge Knight, which is general, very good defense to begin with. So that's a very cool little option. I usually run mostly level 2s, but yeah, if you want a level 4, it costs about average as every other level 4, so it's cool. For our heroes, we got the Paladin, who is basically a fighting character. I think here you must at least have the Battle Standard beer as an option, but yeah, maybe one Paladin, Sheep Paladin to give some extra punch to a lance, but yeah, that's it. It's a cool, pretty cheap character, pretty good. As well, we got the Damsel, our hero wizard, who can actually use the same spell. I think it's too bad we lost Path of Light, but I'm not really a fan of light anyway, to be honest. I like Heaven or White on my wizards. Well, not much more to say about it. Then we got a very interesting choice, the Castellan. 40 points for him, and he can work as a sheep chef, very sheep chef. Put him on a horse, and then he will cost 65. You might want to give him a shield and light lance. 69, that's okay. Using as sheep chef, I run 3 of them, solos, and replacing the Solodin role, because they are cheaper, and if they die, no problem. But another cool thing is that you can put him in a unit of Outrider and he gets fast cavalry, so we can have him running in one of those units. If he is in a Crusader unit, he gets Hatred and Frenzy, which is good, I guess. And if you put him in the brigades, you get Scouts and Quick to Fire. So that's cool. I wouldn't use it too much, but that's, yeah, it's good. Yeah, basically you need to have him to upgrade your men-at-arms and bowmen to brigades. And yeah, you can also have him as a BSB if you want, and then you got 2+ leadership, so you got leadership 9. Oh, that's good actually for a peasant. So he's a cool kind of, if you want a peasant army, you got a lot of option to put him in. So that's really cool, I think. So let's just move over to the core section. We got my favorite knights is actually now Knights Aspirant. They are cheaper. They got, of course, they got lousier weapon skill and I think leadership and as well strength, but and no heavy armor. But you can, if you not take any Knights of the Realm, you can up them to Crusader for 2 points per model, and they get Thunderous Charge. So that's mean basically they are not too expensive. They cost 21 points each, and they can do some really good damage on the charge. And since they can reroll failed charges, that is brutally good. Even though they gain Frenzy, unfortunately, because it's only granted us 3 extra attack, but they got Frenzy, so they can basically run around flank, not too expensive lands, and hit the flank of a unit and do some serious damage on them. So I think they're really good, really good option. Probably will fill a lot of your core points for most armies. Knights of the Realm, unfortunately, not in my book anymore. Basically because Knights of Aspirant is cheaper, not by too much, but they can reroll charge distance, and our weird knights really need to get the charge. which is a good selling factor for me, even though they got strength 4, which is good, but I can have morning stars and flail. But I would say I will leave these guys at home. Unfortunately, I think the Knights Aspirant Crusader choice is much more valuable, and I will take that over Knights of the Realm every day of the week. Unfortunately, we got the Peasant Levy. No infantry for me, they are too slow still. Movement 5, they will be far behind the rest of the line, but if you want to run a cool peasant army, this will be your anvil, so to say, or maybe even your hammer. You don't really have much of a choice, but they are okay. Cheap unit, might used as a unit to capture objective points, but I don't see why you couldn't use small unit of Knights Aspirant instead. They got better armor save, higher mobility, and not too much more in point cost, but you might have a small unit of Peasant Levy to take up points and be drops and that kind of duty. We then got our Peasant Bowman. Nothing much to say about them. They are as usual. I use them as bunker for my level 2s, but they can be upgraded to skirmish, so that's really good. I think one thing they got missed is let's see, the crossbow. You need to have Crusaders to get crossbow, which I think is very bad, because if you want to play an old peasant army, you should be able to use crossbow, but now as it is, you need to have the Crusaders to get the crossbow, which I think it's sad, unfortunately. I do like the brigade upgrade, so you got a scouting skirmish unit with 1 extra ballistic skill and quick to fire, so that's really cool. I think very cool, very cool option for the Peasant Bowman unit. And that's the core section actually, so let's move over to the special questing knights. They can now use shield, so they are very good. The 3-up armor save doesn't matter too much anymore. We got the Hedge Knight, they got Scout, Vanguard, and Strider Forest. They lost skirmish, but I think this is really a really good option for Hedge Knight. First you can scout them and then vanguard them, even though I think scout is an overrated rule with the 18-inch, but these guys can really fly over the table if you got good placement on them. So I will try them out and see how they work in my next Kingdom of Equitaine game and see how I like it. We also got the Peg Knights. Yeah, they are Peg Knights. They are very cool flying. I will give them Skirmisher and probably Devastating Shot as well. Yeah, they are very good flying monster cab, or a very utility unit. Can work as chaff, very expensive chaff, but if you need it, you can throw them in front of something because they have high movement, 9. And they can charge into flank, charge war machine, do whatever you want. They are pretty good on most role in your army. We got the Outrider. I think they kind of lost their usefulness when we got the Peasant Hero, but yeah, they might work. They're a little bit cheaper than the lone Peasant Hero. Might die easier with the panic check and so on, but it's a cool unit. Very cool, I would say. Knights of Forlorn. Actually, I bought like 10 of the Mantic models, which I'm on my way on converting for them to use them as actually I was planning on using them, but then they lost ambush, unfortunately. I will use them at Hedge Knight, 20 of them with ambush, scout, ambush, and skirmish. But now when they lost that, I think that you can work them well as small Hedge Knight unit. That's really cool, even though you can have maximum 20 model of that, but that could be a very good scoring point unit is very good fighting skill. They have shield and heavy armor and great weapon, ignoring fear, so they can do pretty much very good damage actually, even though they doesn't look too much on the paper. But strength 6, yeah, it's okay. Initiative doesn't matter. Leadership 8, yeah, they can do some, can be very useful unit. We got the Crusader Frenzy. I hate Frenzy. I think that's one of my personal opinion, loudest special rule you can get. But yeah, of course it's a very cool unit. We cannot say anything about that. Yeah, the RR Anvil can be used very well. Like if you have a 15-man unit of them or a conga line unit of them, they can work very well. Very well to hold up stuff. And now that they don't have the 40 mil front, now they only have a 20 mil front, so they will face off at maximum 3 models. So they can pretty much, with shield and light armor, they can stand around if they need to. Leadership 7 isn't too bad at all for a peasant unit. So they are okay, I think, really good. For rare section, we got the Knights of the Grail. What can I say? Very expensive knights, but 3 of them cost 90 points, so they can actually, if you want, you can have them work as the chaff hunting, because if they charge, they will kill whatever chaff you have against them. 6 strength, 6 attack, weapon skill 5, they will kill whatever you put in their way. Can upgrade them to have divine attacks, pretty good. Yeah, this is our hardest hitting unit. I have stopped playing Green Knights because I think if I fail with them, I lost the game. If I success with them, I win the game. If I have a big unit of them, I will run smaller unit of them because, yeah, as I told you, work as chef hunter and stuff like that. Toughness 4 on human is also very nice. Yeah, and that's basically Grail Knight. I think Questing Knight is the better choice, but Grail Knight is cool as well. Then we got the Green Knight, who is a one-of-a-kind rare choice now, and I think this one is very good, very cool. I love the model. He is a ghost and ambush. So he can just show up wherever he wants. He can be placed in front of anything and will most likely hold up most things, to be honest. If you need to use him as chaff, then go ahead. Otherwise he will basically hold it up or kill, actually. Great weapon. And let's see. We have great weapon and parade weapon, yeah. And the shield, so yeah, he can be very good, actually. Yeah, very cool unit to actually have. I would like us to have a whole unit of Green Knights, but you cannot get everything you want. And finally, Siege War Machine. 65 for a Ballista and 130 for a Treb. I like them. They can pretty much place them on the corner, and your opponent will probably just throw away their shaft to take out these guys instead of shaffing up our knights, which is very good. But they got kind of expensive. I think 65 for a Scorpion is expensive. Treb 130 also expensive. So yeah, they're cool. They are very cool, but expensive. So if you want to take some of them, it's cool. Sacred Relic. I would say this one is, if you have a peasant army, go for it. It gives some cool buffs to the peasant, but for me, peasants are supposed to die. They doesn't really yeah, it doesn't really need much. It gives the stuff within 6 inches blessing, so if you have a big horde or something that needs to hold up a conga line of what's the name again? Let's see. Crusaders. Yeah, this is a very good choice for you. Cavalry models, insignificant cavalry. If you have a peasant army, this could be very good, but otherwise I don't really see the point of this one, even though it's a very cool model as well. So yeah, that's my thought on the Kingdom of Equitaine. As I told you before, please have any comments, post them below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. Otherwise, feel free to like and start subscribing if you haven't already. Have a nice one.